Hello, this is Raven and Amy, and today we want to spend a little bit of time talking about how inspired we are by healing and how healing has been a big part of our world over the last few months, and it's inspired us to really take a step deeper into healing and a step more open to really get bigger around it. So the images that are running while we're talking here today are from the Mayo Clinic in Minnesota, which is an amazing place of healing. So if you're curious about where some of this beautiful imagery is coming from, that's where. And we really want to start an exploration. We've been exploring with one another. We've been exploring with some groups of people in different ways, and we really want to explore with you all kinds of different expressions about what does it mean to heal? What does it mean to be a healer? And what is healing really about? So we're going to give ourselves the next few months to really explore this topic here and with you and with other people, and with the intent of starting a global healing circle in the fall that's going to be focused on a lot of different things, but it will be a chance for all of us to really come together in a very conscious way around healing and begin that exploration on a much bigger scale. So I'm going to turn you over to Amy so she can talk a little bit about healing here.
Hi, everyone. Raven and I both feel very strongly that everyone on the planet is here doing healing work. And we do healing work personally with ourselves, whether that's with our past, with our relationships. We do healing work with our communities. We do healing work on the land. But most people aren't conscious of the work that they're doing. So what Raven and I are committed to is walking a conscious path of healing, both as individuals and as a union, and sharing that with others who are interested in owning the role that they play as healers during this lifetime. So each of us has our own healing journey. My conscious journey with healing began 13 years ago. At that point, I had contracted an incredibly rare heart and lung condition, and I was in the process of actively dying. No one knew what to do with me, how to heal me, and I certainly had no idea how to heal myself. But out of perhaps desperation, I began to become aware of all the different information that was being given to me about how to walk toward a place of healing. And we'll talk a lot in future months about what that actually means. That doesn't mean I was walking a path toward getting better in any specific way, but I was walking a path of healing myself. And that path eventually led me to an incredible place, the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota, where I was blessed to have a surgery that prolonged my life. I went there in the process of dying, and I left with the hopes of living 10 more years. I've made it 13. The physical healing that happened during that initial journey didn't look like any perhaps ideal of healing people have. We have kind of a story that we go and we have surgery and we get all better and we are returned to some previous state of health and wellness. That's not what happened. My life was prolonged. So that's a major amount of physical healing. But the physical healing that I experienced during that trip is really only one portion of the healing that began then. It was then that I started to own the healing that was happening to me on every level, not only my body, my physical being, but I experienced incredible amounts of healing in my emotional body, in my mental body, in my energetic body. There was healing on an ancestral level that happened there. And I was also blessed, because I was there for quite some time, to both experience and witness healing amongst different patients who were also there. I got to see healing happen with physicians. I got to see a vast amount of healing happened in this incredible place. And ever since then, I've devoted my life not only to consciously walking my own path of healing, but to helping others do that as well. And in the past 2 years, in relationship with Raven, I've really taken that conscious healing path to a different level. And we'll talk about this more in the coming months. But as I have deepened and owned the capacity that deep, intimate relationships have for healing, both of individuals involved and all others around them, I've started to really own that and consciously practice living in a way that is healing not only for me, but for others and for the planet. As I've been doing that, there have been physical effects on my heart and my lungs, and we'll talk about that in future months. So that's really exciting for me. I returned to the Mayo a few weeks ago for my 8th visit. I go back all the time to see my doctors and to get a checkup, but I also go not only for a checkup of my body, but I go to check in with myself on my healing path. And each time I go, I'm gifted with incredible amounts of teachings and treasures about what healing is, and wonderful opportunities to both witness and participate in all different kinds of healing. And this time Raven went with me, and so he was able to participate too.
Which was such an incredible gift to be at the Mayo Clinic. One, just to have her whole perspective and feeling sense of being at the Mayo, and two, just to be in the field itself. You know, when we've been talking about healing, Amy and I really feel strongly that what it's really about is wholeness. Is really about coming back to the recognition that we're not broken and that we're whole. And I think the Mayo is such a great example of a place that has generated a field of wholeness. Like when they're taking care of people who are in medical distress, they're taking care of every aspect of them. And it's really, I'm very excited to talk more about the Mayo Clinic as we move on into these next few months, because I learned a lot there about wholeness and about generating a field of wellness, not just a specific event, not just one person that you're talking to, but how to generate an environment that is conducive for us to really come back to wholeness and well-being. And one of the other things that healed for me when we were there was just to have a completely different view of Western medicine again, which for myself I've avoided most of my life. Really working with Western medicine, and I had judgments and attitudes about it, like a lot of people who are in spiritual groups and alternative ways of healing have over the years, and I had judgments around it, and it was really awesome to see just the beauty that was being created with a Western medicine model, and also just how important that is to access every tool that we have to come back to wholeness. And this is and science has given us a beautiful and really well-developed tool that maybe is misused at certain times in our society, but certainly has amazing and deep value for us to come back to more wholeness, more wellness and well-being inside of ourselves. So this work that Amy and I have been doing in these journeys that we've been making around this have really re-inspired me to come back to healing and being a healer myself. It's an aspect of my being as I've been walking my spiritual path that I haven't attended to in quite some time. And I'm really inspired to come back to it. I believe wholeness really is our journey on a spiritual level. And that, as Amy has said, we are all healers and we're all walking a path of healing. And I know for myself, like I've been scared of being a healer and have pushed away that aspect of being on a spiritual path, worried about responsibility or what does it mean, or will I succeed or not succeed, and all of the things that we get into as little individual egos whenever we start talking about taking on a task or doing something in the world in such a way. And so for me, I'm really inspired to come back and to challenge some of those ideas and beliefs and really open into what does it mean to be a healer. And we've done some fascinating exploration around that lately with some groups, and lots of really beautiful things have come out of it. And so that'll be part of the journey, is for all of us to explore what does it mean for each of us that we are healers and that we are walking a healing path.
As Raven said, one of the incredible pieces of beauty about the Mayo Clinic is the field that's created there by the tens of thousands of employees who are working there today, and all of the people who come through for care, and all of their loved ones who come with them. But also that field has been fed for over 100 years. When you go there, you actually feel like you are held within a container of healing and for healing. And that was beautiful for him to witness, and for me to witness through his eyes. Since I've been there so many times, it was wonderful for me to see that anew. And it's really that field, that kind of concerted field that people create together, that Raven and I are interested in playing with all of you. We want to create that same kind of unified field for healing so that we can work together for all aspects of healing, both our personal healing that we're doing, but healing with global crises, for instance, and with particular community issues. So we want to take the feeling, the real experience we've had at the Mayo of a unified field of healing and create that on a different scale. And what we do know is that you don't need to be like me to experience dramatic healings. You don't need to have had a really serious health condition. And you don't need to go to some major medical facility like the Mayo in order to be part of this kind of unified field of healing. We were blessed recently to have some wonderful people at our home in Colorado for a retreat. And we spent 5 days together working really, really deeply on deep personal issues, and then working with huge global healing as well. So every morning we started with practice with one another, really getting us in touch with our hearts. We'll talk a lot about the role that the heart plays in healing and wholeness. And then throughout the day, we continued to deepen with one another, and we ended every single day with a different kind of healing circle. So it was beautiful to see all the aspects of healing that we were able to create just in 5 days. We worked on our own personal issues of healing, and then we worked with healing the land. And by the end of the week, we had created such a unified field of healing with one another. We were able to gift that out to the entire planet, and worked with transpersonal healing, which is healing beyond the self, allowing ourselves to open up and be channels for whatever healing wants to flow through us and wherever it wants to flow to.
So we don't even need to be in person to be a part of a healing field and to be a healer and to be putting healing energy out into the world. And another recent thing we had is Amy facilitated a healing circle for a dear friend of hers, and I was also part of that circle. And it was all done remote, and it was really an amazing experience to feel how visceral and how real and how absolutely effective it is for us to just intend to connect with one another, and then intend that energy of opening with one another into love be of service and healing to a specific individual, or in this case, and that can be applied to a specific situation, a place on the earth, many different ways that can be, that energy, when we connect together, can resonate and be broadcast out into the world. But just being in that healing circle was, again, a really beautiful experience of actively participating in a field of energy generated by a group of people who had a specific intent, not to fix, not to manipulate or change or in some way control reality, but instead to come together in a way where we can open with one another, merge our energies together, and hold the resonance of the highest good in a particular situation for everyone involved. So we're really looking forward to exploring that in as many different ways as we can come up with. And that's part of what this next 4 months is going to be about, is finding all of those ways.
This healing circle that we were part of for this friend of mine was an incredible gift for all of us. There were people throughout the globe. Most of us didn't even know each other. Sometimes we connected by phone, sometimes by email, but we were all connected in this web of healing that had one intent, and that was gifting this beloved of ours with whatever healing could flow through us. And what we found, of course, is what we find in all healing, is that we don't just open to allow healing to flow through us and it goes to someone else, but we are also the receivers of that same healing that the group is creating together. So it's inspired us, our experience has inspired us to commit to doing this with those of you who want to play on a really massive scale. As Raven said, we're going to spend a couple months here exploring different topics with healing and really starting to create a unified field together. And then once we've done some exploring, we will commit to being part of a global healing circle that will meet periodically to gift the planet with all kinds of healing, whether we commit 1 month to working on our own interpersonal relationships or forgiveness, let's say, and the next month it might be working with some aspect of crisis within the globe or some area on the planet that needs help. So all areas of healing are open in this exploration. And we're very, very excited to be part of a group of people who, like us, are committed to consciously walking this path of healing.
So it is that dedication and commitment that we're beginning to explore what that might look like for all of us as we come together. So we're going to start that exploration here. We're doing it right now with this video. And then this page, the web page that you're finding it on, if you happen to be watching this somewhere else, the web page address is coming up on your screen right now. Come back here. Come back here again and again, because this is where the updates are going to be about this healing, this exploration and healing project that we're doing. And so as we come up with more form around it, places for us to connect, forums for us to talk on, and ways for us to work with some facilitated visualization around how we are going to impact the world in this healing way. All of that information will be showing up on this page over the next few months. And of course, you can hop on our newsletter, which is also on this page, and there'll be some information going there. But this will be the main place to come to explore with us about healing. So please come back and welcome. We're really excited to be beginning this.
Yeah, so if you, like us, are committed to walking a healing path consciously, please come back and play with us. We are delighted to be able to share this space with you. And it is our prayer that all beings know that they are whole, that all beings open to the infinite healing grace that is forever surrounding and filling them. May all beings be free, and may all beings be at peace. Namaste.
Namaste.